Welcome to episode 1 of series 2 of All About Design. We were so excited to find out that we have been listened to in 66 countries on the latest stats. New Zealand, North and South America, Africa, all over Europe.
I can't believe how far we've gone.
Obviously, interior design does change wherever you are in the world. The colours that reflect nature and the seasons is a bit different. We're based in the UK and we're in the middle of the grotty February at the moment. It has been horrible and we're really looking forward to spring. But you used to experience seasons the other way around when you lived in Australia?
Yeah, I did. And it's funny because when I worked there, I had to change my mindset for colours because they do react differently in different environments. You'll see a slight difference in the colours just because of the saturation of light. Sydney is a total different colour bag, as you'd say, but it's still relevant. Here we need all the help we can get, really.
At the moment, definitely. Yeah. So we're back. We're back with a bang. We're so excited to be here. Let's have a catch up with you, Deb. What have you been up to?
Well, yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it?
It has been a while.
I am currently still working on my own home, which is never-ending projects. And at the moment, I'm trying to get the master bedroom finished. It's always the last room, isn't it? You do the kids, you do everybody else, all the public rooms. And in that, I'm looking at, cornicing, to replacing original features, which actually, it's changed a lot. There's a lot more products out there and things that you can do quite easily. So that's what I'm working on. But I'm also redecorating, obviously. And funny enough, because the paper, I'm using paper in there because I want it to be a bit softer. It actually has an undertone of the new Pantone colour, which was only was it December?
It was recently announced. Well, just at the end of 2025.
What's it called? Cloud Dancer. Which is kind of warm but neutral. It's an interesting one, isn't it?
It's serene, airy, peace, and creates a blank canvas, is what Pantone have said when they released it. And some people were saying, I thought it was Pantone Colour of the Year and this is not a colour. But in defence of Cloud Dancer, which is a really nice name, I was recently thinking of painting my office, and at the moment it's Sakura wallpaper. But I was thinking I might try Cloud Dancer just because I do feel that we all need a bit of a mental clarity, and there is so much forcing itself on us, but we'll come back to that. So you're going with something that's got a base tone of that.
You're absolutely right, though, because I remember reading something about it's a reaction to the overstimulated world we live in. Which makes sense, doesn't it? Because we are everything is bombarding us. So I don't know if I was influenced, maybe I was, but it's got that undertone in it. But for me, I'm a colour girl. So that's kind of strange for me to say I'm putting that colour on my walls. But I'm going to accent it with burnt orange. Also, I don't know if people look it up, but it's the Christopher Carnival cloth as well. So that's going to be there. It's just got those hints of the blues and the greens. Like we've said before, that's a really good base colour. I think you can get very, subdued colours, but adding a bit of colour to it suddenly elevates it and makes it your own. That's where I'm at the moment with my interiors.
Can I just ask you, your ceiling rows that you're going to put in? Yeah. So they are really quite inexpensive these days, aren't they? And very easy to put up.
Absolutely. There's so many manufacturers out there. So you can go for the plaster finish or polystyrene finish, which is actually lighter and cheaper. And so easy to install. And it makes such a difference to the room. And a lot of houses, especially older houses, it's been lost. Or if you have a newer house, like we've said before, and you just want to add a little bit of texture and interest, it's a good way to do it. So altogether, I think it's a way of achieving a look and a feel, adding these extra features.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
But you know how it is. You start a project and there's always about 100 things that you didn't think of that you have to do before you actually get to the pretty bit, which is the decorating and the pretty cushions. But hopefully that's my project for the next few months. So
excellent.
So Sue, what's new with you?
Oh, well, I recently had my colours done. For what to wear and what colours suit me. And so they basically do it on whether the colours that suit you are spring, summer, autumn or winter. And I'd heard of it. And when it came to the day, I guessed I might be in autumn.
Oh, yeah.
Because the colours I always love are oranges and greens, but maybe the more muted corals, khakis, things like that, of ochres. 5 ladies had it done. 3 were spring.
Okay.
And they were quite fair with blue eyes. And I thought maybe they'd be summer, but apparently summer is quite a rare colour.
So what's summer then?
I don't actually really know, to be honest. Because nobody there was summer, I can't tell you really. I don't know, you might be. I mean,
I'm a weird one. I'd be like,
well,
mid-season.
Midwinter's / spring / yeah. We don't know. So I was autumn, and that makes sense to me because I don't like things like really bright pinks on me. And looking at how it actually translates into the colours I use in my home, it does have a bearing. So actually it might be something to have a think about or explore a bit more yourself on what you're drawn to. It's probably related to the colours that you wear. And we've said that before, haven't we?
I think we have. And did you feel like when you went through the colour sort of trial, when they put the right colour on you, did you feel something? Did you feel like lifted? You know how when we put a top on and go, oh, I look lovely. It might not necessarily be that top, it's the colour.
Yes.
Did that happen to you?
Definitely. So that's why I've got this on today, lovely. Partly because it was such a dreary morning and I thought I need something to make me feel a bit happier with the daffodils and colours like that. But actually, I'm not sure. I haven't got my colour fan deck yet of colours I should wear.
Oh, so did you get one?
Yeah. Well, so when you go shopping, the colours that I didn't know were really good on me were purples.
Purple?
I know.
But is it like, you know how purple can be like blue based or it can be red based?
It was probably more red based ones. Actually, red suited me, which I don't wear red really. And again, just because it said that red suits me, I'm not going to buy millions of red tops. But yeah, it was interesting. So I think
you're not going to do a Christaberg.
No, lady, no. But it was an interesting eye opener. So I know a lot of yellows won't suit me. Years ago when I was an air stewardess, I used to work for Britannia and I had to wear a uniform that was duster yellow. And no matter how much makeup you put on, it just bleached you completely. Yeah. And you were meant to wear, back many years ago now, a lot of lipstick as well with it. And, you know, they really wanted you to wear makeup. Nowadays, I don't think they can tell you to do that, so that you wouldn't be allowed to. But you had to wear red lipstick and things like that. Which, again, I don't like red lipstick on me, but I digress. But so as you got draped in these various colours, your skin would almost either pop and look great and your eyes would really sparkle and show through, or else you just think, oh my God, I need to go and have a lie down. And the people watching around the room all would have the same reaction. So
there
not
was
really
a definite
happening.
Difference.
Yeah, really interesting. So I think just trust your gut is a message with this. If you are drawn to particular colours, it could very well be related to the colours that you like to wear. Just another interesting point, I think everyone always feels safe in their little black dress. And actually black is a colour that's really, really hard to wear. So it's great to break things up. If you've got a colour that you're not 100% sure of, breaking up with like a white collar like this or a scarf or something helps dilute if you're not 100% sure. Or you might have a black outfit on and you want to put a bit of colour into it that suits you. But lots of the creams and the beiges were just like, oh my goodness, she needs a holiday.
It's so true. I remember because I wore a long time ago for a dress up, a blonde wig.
Gosh, yes.
And I looked like death rolled up. I had to put so much makeup on. I think my face was out here because I had to bronze up so much because it just sucked the life. And you wouldn't think that, would you?
No.
But that translates into interiors as well, doesn't it? All of these things filter down. We always say balance it, like you said, a white collar. You can break colours up by just not having them touching. So it's interesting with your eye and your ability for colour to go into that and learn something.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And actually a lot of the girls were saying, oh, I really like to wear khaki. It's such a good colour for often in the winter time. And actually khaki only suited my colouring. None of the others, it didn't help them.
So
and it
like,
was,
just
again,
give me your coat.
I was like, yeah, I'll just take that for you. Thanks very much.
Coming back to the interior thing, again, it's how it's presented and what it's next to.
Yeah, completely. And actually putting it next to something else will change it or take it on a different journey. So that was good. So it was fun. But in terms of projects at home, the kitchen is still on the hit list. I am doing a lot of kitchen design work for 2 clients at the moment. I'm seeing so much, which sometimes is too much information. What do you do? Where do you go? I've got my ideas bubbling away. So going back to Cloud Dancer, I say it was a bit of a controversial colour that Pantone selected, but I think they probably hit the nail on the head because We are being bombarded by terrible news everywhere. It's a bad world. It's a sad world. It's people trying to scam you, the phone calls, the emails, the internet. Home has become one of the only places you can feel truly safe. And we've always said one of the reasons we do All About Design podcast and why we love interior design is how it makes you feel, and using colour to help you feel safe and secure and rescue yourself really is so important. And I think that's translating across very much this year.
I think so. Looking at the trends that they're forecasting for this year, the art of layering in interiors, and that comes back to that sanctuary feel, like not just layering colours, but textures and natural materials, different woods together, different textures together. And it's almost making that sanctuary interior feel. Like velvets and suede, so tactile experience will be coming back. But you don't have to have that as a bland interior. That can be an interior of colour. And you talked about nature. So there's where you can pick up natural colours that are still stimulating and evoking of emotion in your own home. And, you know, take on colours that maybe work with you.
Yeah.
You're going to be in there.
Yeah.
It's all about, I think, texture, an organic feeling. I don't know, what do you reckon that's going back to? Is it kind of that, kind of like taking it back to basics feeling? Are we trying to sort of de-tech what's going on?
I think so. I think we're just trying to simplify, aren't we? To have the downtime that you really are in a space where you can nurture yourself and get away from what's outside the front door. And it is a challenging time to be in, I think, when you do feel, you know, you can't trust so much that's in front of you. So your home is definitely got to be where it's at. And I think finding things like this sort of sensuous shapes and the textures and the materials, you know, there's very much a movement towards what has been around for a while, the biophilic design, bringing the outside in. So lots of natural plants as well. You know, like the air quality is so improved if you have natural plants in your house. Also, physiologically, it can lower heart rates. Physical effects it has are well known now, and science is looking into how the interiors, we know colour really affects how you feel. So people are now putting in those lovely blank canvas colours and then adding in what really talks to them instead of just following, I think, a trend just for the sake of it.
I think it's about focusing on well-being and meaningfulness. I think it's about creating an interior that's more authentic to you than assembled. Which, I mean, we do that for a living. We assemble an interior. But even in that environment, we've always said to people, you know, artworks and such, you've got to get a feel for it. You've got to have a feeling for what's in the room. And we are kind of feeding people. It's almost like saying, would you want to have a try of this? Like it's kind of a degustation of design, isn't it? To say, what really gets you going? What is that?
How does it make you feel?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think from what I understand from the trends that are coming out, it is a kind of step back and saying, it's all gone too far. Everything out here is crazy. Let's go back into our lovely environment and take nature and basic things and not technology, not hide it, but step back from it.
As much as we can. I think, like you say, it's creating a personal space for you and your family and zones within it. So you might have a room that you want to feel a bit more energetic in, so you can use zingier colours or just accessories. So, you know, you can't constantly paint your house a different colour just because that's the season. And I think people are now being truer to what they want and not doing it just for show. But actually, I think it's like, this is my cave. I'm going to decorate it the way I want it to, you know, and it helps us live more confident for your healthier lives when we go outside the front door. If when you've been at home, you've had that rest and recuperation and that detox from it all.
I think it's about telling a story that's unique to yourself, isn't it? Your interior tells a story.
Well, it should do.
It should. Otherwise, you're just like a franchise of everybody else. And I think people are realising that my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions are unique to myself.
And very valid.
And an expression of that is a positive thing. Once you have the right things around you, it does change how you feel. It's taken a long time for us to understand that, hasn't it? Colour psychology and all these things have been around for years. But it seems like it's a kind of action to what's going on in the world. We're sort of realising that we need to look inward for calm and control, because we can't look outward.
Yeah.
Do you know?
But everyone's in the same boat, and we will get through. 2026 is Year of the Horse. I think everyone's sort of seen that, whether you believe in Chinese horoscopes and feng shui and things. But it is very much metaphor for moving forward, for movement, for flow. The journeys.
Yeah.
I think it's a really exciting year. I can feel the energy in 2026. It's really interesting. So it's all about finding your freedom and your independence, which links in again with creating your interior, not just what the magazines tell you to do.
More authentic to you.
And a sense of escape, in a way, from what's outside the front door, but also journeying and moving and growing. I think it's going to be a really interesting year in interior design. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm excited. I am, because it's not like saying do this. It's about curate your interiors, let them speak for themselves, let them layer up, let them tell a story, which is a journey rather than just making a home. And I quite like that. I think we need a bit more of that. So yeah, I'm interested to see how it pans out and how that kind of translates into products. We'll see a lot more wooden utensils, back to that kind of natural nature, less stark. And I bet we'll see Cloud Dancer all over tech. What do you reckon?
What do you mean by on
phones and kettles and everything? You'll suddenly see this muted tone coming through, this calm tone. Let's see what happens with that.
It'd be nice in a pearlescent, wouldn't it, or a metallic, because it's not cold. It's got a warmth to it, but
it was disappointing, I must admit. As a colour person, I was like, but then, like you said, step back. It's giving freedom to a palette that's unique to everybody,
which is actually really good. So go for it. Don't be afraid. What's the worst that can happen? It's a bit like when they draped me with a colour that didn't work for me. It's fairly obvious quite quickly that it's not for you.
Really, like, get it off.
Yes, literally on some of them, you weren't allowed to wear any makeup. It was pretty horrific.
So you were back to like that art of layering, starting from the ground up.
Yeah, and even down to the point of gold and silver jewellery, what suits you better. And I thought I could wear either, and do, but actually mixing them is a good way, because silver didn't really suit me. Yeah. But gold did more. But I like to sort of mix my metals. And it's a bit like that in interior design, isn't it? A lot of people are worried about mixing metals. You know, don't have 95% of your house in chrome and then just stick a brass lamp in, because it needs to have a reference point to something else. But you can definitely mix it if it's intentional in a few places.
You have to go for it, mixing, not just have like a poppy field with one like yellow flower in the middle. Yeah. You can't. You have to.
Exactly.
You have to kind of go for it. And I think that's it. This year, let's go for it in a really personalised, inward-looking way. And that's kind of the start for you, isn't it? Looking at your colours. Don't be scared to layer. Don't be scared to be who you are.
I think more and more we are appreciating what nature does as well. So, you know, looking through the windows at home and seeing the garden and anticipating the colours to come, but also enjoying the greenery. Even that's, you know, in the middle of winter, as much as it can be quite hard. And I think everyone's sense of health and well-being gets quite tested when it's cold and dark and wet, especially in the UK. January, after all the glittery lights and the excitement of Christmas, it's a bit of a slap in the face, isn't it? But trying to enjoy the structural beauty, you know what I mean? Taking Teddy for walks. Today I was looking at the catkins are coming out, and there's a tiny bit of yellow and a tiny little bit of a smudge of an apricot-y colour. And I was thinking, if I could take that home and put it on a colour scheme, I'd throw in a shot of green and a shot of orange with that. And so there are still things to help inspire.
But that's exactly it. You can have a neutral palette, but just a hint of something gives it life. That's something you can translate into interiors. Yes, go for the neutral. Don't be scared of just a tiny bit of colour. Natural tones, saturated tones, giving that kind of... Just look outside, pick a few colours and see what they feel to you and how they could work in your neutral environment. And that's a good way to start, isn't it? Right, just that like little bud.
The little bud.
So, Sue, I know you've been busy without me. That's all right.
I mean, you're welcome to tag along whenever.
So, series 2, can you give everyone an idea of what you've been up to and what kind of things to expect?
Yes, I can. But I will first say, go and check out series 1, which is on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and every good place that they're available as well, because there's so much there from last year. There's 12 episodes of all sorts of things we talked about, from how to define your personal style to house clinic Q&As to discovering treasure in antique shops and auction houses. Yeah, also in series 1, we spoke to Dulux Paint's creative director, Mariana Shillingford, all about colour and paint and the staggering effect it can have on our emotions. So that's a really interesting episode. We did tackle the thorny issue of decluttering, which I think is such a freeing thing to do. And we gave you some great strategies in that one about how to declutter your life. Moving on to series 2, I already recorded a couple of episodes, Deb. I'm so sorry. It's been so exciting to speak to design professionals in other areas and really get their angle on how important design is and how to think about it in terms of your own spaces. So, of course, thinking about your garden as another room in your home is important. If you spend thousands on the inside and then forget to give real thought to the outside, it is a bit of a missed opportunity. So it was great in episode 2. I'm chatting with Danny King, who is an incredible landscape designer, and I met her through a mutual client. I was creating a garden room and Danny was doing the landscape and garden design. And it wasn't just the planting, though she was doing that. It was the most beautiful structural elements as well that she was putting in. So there were still archways and lighting, just making the garden into another space. It was great to speak to her this time of year. She had some wonderful advice about things that need doing in the garden as we transition into spring. And we talked about just how to approach designing this really important part of your home, whether you have just a small terrace even, or a balcony, or whether you've got acres, just to get that inside out feeling going on, and how to use all the senses. And I've also recorded a great episode with Joanne Lizelle from Maison Interiors, who is a very talented kitchen and bathroom designer. They also do walk-in dressing rooms and beautiful bedrooms. We were talking specifically about kitchens and bathrooms. They're the big ticket areas that you really want to avoid making costly mistakes in. When I design kitchens with my clients, I always say, let's go and speak to a kitchen specialist, because there's so much going on in this area of design in terms of the technology. And I'm not an expert in that field. But if you are doing your own kitchen and you want some really solid advice, then this episode with Joanne is for you, because she talks about what to avoid, her experience, what's the key places to spend your money. Her advice is worth its weight in gold. And then other exciting guests we've got lined up for series 2. I will be quizzing an estate agent about what to do to sell your home, what adds value, what works, what to not waste your money on. I'll also be speaking, this is a really exciting one, to Karen Haller, who is the author of The Little Book of Colour, and she's an internationally recognised authority in the field of applied colour psychology. And what that really means is she will have the real inside knowledge on why, how and when we should use colour, and how it has such an impact on us and how we can use it to our best advantage. Well, we are going to be doing a house clinic question and answer session, at least one, maybe two, because they're so popular. Loads and loads of questions that have been sent in.
Sounds like you brought in the experts where we wouldn't necessarily have the expertise.
Yeah.
Absolutely have ideas. Yeah. But it's good to see how they tackle it and what they do and learn from that. Because, like you said, the extension of the house into the garden is something we've talked about. And now, obviously, with 2026, saying about nature coming in, it'd be interesting how that changes garden design as well, or if that has an influence on it.
Well, it's also, you know, all the other things happening in gardens, and even in this country, people now building outdoor kitchens. But there's a project I'm working on, sort of a covered area within the new extension to pop out sort of boxes on the back of the house, and then across the middle bit it'll still be covered, but it will be outside. Then the bifolds will open, so you can, even in the rain, have the doors open. The rain can't splash in, but you've got that sort of meeting point. So it's really interesting to see the new things that are coming.
Do you think it's a case of, like overseas, everybody has covered outside areas for sun and rain? So giving longevity, we've always kind of said, oh no, the minute the weather changes, we have to go inside. It's taken a long time, hasn't it, for us to realise, well, if we actually put a cover. Yes. I don't understand why it took so long.
No, it's not just a big umbrella.
No, you could actually create an area. To tell you the truth, even in winter, I often think if I had a pit with a fire, I'd be out there.
Yes, definitely.
You know?
Back in nature again.
We're kind of catching up with the rest of the world, aren't we?
Yeah.
Very slowly.
And it doesn't have to be, we wait till it's warm, which we do tend to do, I think, in this country. It's really interesting to see. And that's, again, where using natural materials and being aware of what's around you, so you blurring the lines, really. One of the questions I did ask Danny was, what colour do you paint your fence?
Oh, yeah.
And she was actually, well, you'll have to listen to the episode. It's quite interesting. Another project for February cannot be a good declutter, because I think most estate agents will say almost empty surfaces in the kitchen, and and it's always that sort of inclination to open the nearest drawer or cupboard and throw it in, isn't there? But actually having a good declutter this time of year is quite releasing.
It's always necessary, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're get it out of the house. If it's not giving you, like, what's it we said about the arts and crafts, if it's not beautiful or practical or necessary. I'll just add that on.
Yeah, William Morris.
Sorry, William. But then just get it out of the house. It's funny because we're talking about the art of layering and making things not, too stark, but there's a difference between that and cluttered.
Clutter just weighs you down, doesn't it? I always find when the Christmas decorations are going up, everything from around the house, all the ornaments and photo frames that won't fit with the Christmas decorations out, end up in my office, and I find it really difficult to go in there and work. I have to come downstairs and work in the kitchen or something, because it's like, it's closing in on me. I
think you're absolutely right. So you were talking about chaos around you, which is clutter, which drains you.
Yeah.
Clutter is lots of colours, lots of things that don't work together.
Not in a pleasing way. They've just sort of piled on top of each other. No, we all do it.
There's ways of making it calmer for you. There's things that make you feel like, I can't cope.
Yeah.
And it's identifying what that is in your house. Like it's going to be fine after Christmas. But, every day we can start decluttering, because why do we have that? Question it.
Yes.
Is it necessary? Does it work with my lifestyle? Does it work in this home?
If you haven't worn it for, let's say, 12 months because of the seasons, so either donate, bin, recycle or keep. And actually the first job I do in between Christmas and New Year is go through my son's wardrobes, because that feels so freeing. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now is declutter time, and start thinking about how to make your own colour palette. I think that's it for 2026, isn't it?
Build from your blank canvas and just do what suits you and makes you happy, because life's too short, isn't it, really?
And don't be scared by that, because I think that's why people end up with cookie cutter, and we'll guide you. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Deb, for joining me on our first episode of Series 2. And if you have any questions at all about design, please do pop an email over to us. The address is contact@allaboutdesign.online. And if you've enjoyed listening today, please tell your friends and family, and a like and a share would really make our day. So until next time, take care. See you soon.